Hello and welcome back to the Cornhusker Cooldown. My name is Patio and I have Joe Mojojoe with me.
Hello.
You guys had a great week in CCL,
Yeah,
right?
we played literally no one.
No games.
As the first seed, we got a bye in playoffs. So, hey, you go undefeated, get the bye. So
Playoffs are happening.
yes, they are. Quarterfinals happened.
Yep.
I guess I'll start with NDSU USD actually.
Okay, yeah, I think that's
There's not much to say. NDSU won
it's 2-0.
25 minutes in a 19-minute game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not a whole lot I would comment on.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to move on already to DSU STSMT, which was supposed to be like the good series that
I
was
was so sad whenever I
supposed to
saw
be close,
this.
but unfortunately STSMT FF'd it. They've been having roster issues for the past few weeks, so I'm assuming it's related to that.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a close series.
Yeah,
so.
it was definitely going to be the one to watch. We still were expecting DSU to win. We were expecting them to be the winners coming out, so the results of everything remains the same.
Yeah.
But definitely SDSMT had a rougher split than they're used to, so you would have hoped that they get to actually end it on a solid note.
Yeah, and unfortunate, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunate.
But surprisingly, the closest series was ISU Augustana. It was a 2-0 for ISU, but you got to look a little deeper into it. First game, Augustana, 45 minutes. They got Soul.
Come on.
It was a 4-3 Soul. They got Baron. I think they got one inhibitor, but at the end of the day, ISU was able to take it out.
Yeah, I mean, you're expecting that to kind of happen, but for them to get that win, but definitely showing. I mean, we've been seeing the cracks in their fraud and behavior. A little bit.
Yeah. Frauden does not play for ISU, so pretty sure NDSU.
That's true.
But
still,
they are
joke
fraud
remains.
still. So.
Yeah. I mean, definitely showing that maybe we just predicted them a little bit higher than they actually were. But we were expecting the kind of the imbalance of their roster to kind of be the shaky part of them, and
I mean, they were able to still pull it out. And game 2 was a similar story, just a little bit more ISU favored. Augustana had a chance. It went 35-ish minutes, and ISU still pulls it out. I mean, I'm definitely worried for them if going against NDSU next in semifinals. It's going to be rough if they have this showing against Augustana. So
yeah, I guess that can bring us right to semifinals.
Yes. NDSU versus ISU first.
Yeah.
Second seed, NDSU. Took care of business. ISU, third seed, did not do very well, as we said. I'll go straight into my prediction of 2-0 NDSU. It happened in regular season. It's probably going to happen again. So
yeah, I think that's the easy one to predict, just because NDSU are still looking pretty decent, and it feels like ISU were looking better whenever like the teams hadn't gotten their feet under them yet, and they could kind of take advantage with their top lane.
Yeah.
They can kind of take advantage of these teams, and now all of a sudden they're facing the solid teams. You don't have much to take over. So yeah, I'm also expecting a 2-0.
Yeah. And then, other semifinal, us, UNL, Nebraska Esports, takes on Dakota State University. We are first seed, they're fourth seed. The expected, I think. I'm a little surprised DSU was the fourth seed, but I mean, they've been playing a lot better in the recent weeks, and it's gonna be a tough match. So
it will. Yeah, I think if the finals are like UNL versus NDSU, say, this could also be the finals.
Yeah,
is my kind of guess.
As in the words of every bad Redditor that can't predict. This is the real finals.
This is the real finals.
This means that, of course, in finals, the team from this side of the bracket is going to lose now. We've jinxed it. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad I did that.
Oh yeah. But I mean, yeah, DSU has, despite their fourth seed, they've been looking like the second best team ever since like halfway through the season. So
yeah, I mean they've really stepped it up. I mean once they started fixing their drafts, I think that was the big kicker. I mean we talked about it a lot last week about how much better they've been. So I'm definitely expecting this to be a close series, but I could still very much see it being a 2-0 for Nebraska.
Yeah. I have 2-1 for DSU, or 2-1 for US against DSU. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I do think we beat them at the beginning of the regular season. I still think if you look at the roster, especially in the top side, there's a huge just skill gap there, and we're probably not going to hard lose ball lane for them to exploit. So I think we're hopefully going to play around that mid jungle top and just dominate through there. So I could see it going 2-0 for us. I don't see DSU winning 2-0 at all. I think we're too consistent of a team, especially when you have seen us lose. Like, those bounce back games are really good. Like, we beat NDSU in like 25 minutes after losing. So
yeah. It'll definitely be really interesting to see, because the last time that we played against DSU in postseason was not last semester, but the semester before.
Yes.
And that was definitely
it's a different roster.
But same coach. And
not same coach. No, it was the coach at the time.
For them, for DSU.
Oh, for them, yes. Well, to be fair, we had the more of a roster change than they did. So.
Correct. Yeah. But it's going to be a little bit of retribution going in from then. So we'll be excited to see that. That'll be the matchup to see for sure.
And then I think all of these games for semifinals, for both either the semifinals, is going to be on Trojan Esports on November 16th and 17th. Semifinals will be on the 16th, third place match, and then the finals will be on the 17th.
Yeah.
I will make sure to post the announcements in Watch Party and in the League General.
Yeah. Schedule is not out yet, so we don't know.
We don't know exact timings, but past noon.
Do you know those days? So that'll be really interesting. But we're kind of wrapped up. The end of the regular season is over, and
playoffs.
We only have the LAN left.
Yeah, and we have a week and a half, or just over a week till LAN. Another podcast before that happens. So we're going to do a little bit of a sort of talking about all the teams as a more general idea.
Yeah, a little bit of a season summary. How, is there something that you can kind of capture the essence of this team?
A phrase, perhaps.
A phrase.
A word.
A word.
A song, perhaps.
Maybe a song.
That's not me. I do not do songs.
Not me either. I wonder who could have done that. But we're going to start in rankings, going from bottom to top, and just kind of give a summary of what was this team like. What has it been? So I'll start with USD, and someone's got to be last. Someone has to hold up the rear, and they stayed, and we thank you for not leaving.
I mean,
it's hard to hold up someone's got to be it.
Someone's got to be last. It's inevitable. You don't want it to be you, but it's gonna happen. And I mean, that kind of also goes straight into mine. I hope you had fun, because you aren't gonna be successful.
Yeah.
So
the season's over. So
you're playing for a reason, and I hope that reason's to have fun. So
yeah, I hope so too. And we also have some phrases.
We have a producer.
Not really phrases, but songs from our producer.
Songs.
And
we don't know some of the songs.
I don't know all these songs. This one I kind of know, which is "I'm Just a Kid" by Simple Plan. His reasoning was USD haven't won, and they are just a kid, and their season was a nightmare. So, I hope to see them next semester.
Yeah.
But
hopefully they can improve. Obviously, at the end of the day, I'd hope all the teams would have at least some competition. Be like an LCS where there's top teams, bottom teams, but on any given day, a top team can lose to a bottom team per se. But
right.
As of right now, that doesn't feel like it happens.
Not really. I do think we saw in the quarterfinals a team that could have maybe done something, which was Augustana, my favorites. I love Augustana, and so the end phrase, or the phrase that I want to give them is "me in middle school track." You guys had the freshman finish, and you made sure to beat your friends. That's the only people that you beat. You only beat USD. But you know what? You crushed them. So that's what matters.
Yeah. I mean, I have my middle school's 4x1 and 4x4 record.
I do not. I was not good at
So shout out Will Har if you're listening, which you're not, but
No.
you know.
Well, now you have to send it to him.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I have better luck next time because you put up some good games against the top teams, but you just need a little bit more luck. Maybe they just need to mess up a few more times. Maybe you just need a little bit of execution. But yeah, better luck next time. I think you have a lot of stuff you can improve on and stuff that you can, and hopefully we'll be better next semester. So
Yeah, and been seeing improvement.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Our producer, has "Life's a Highway" by Rascal Flatts, and his reasoning was, it's in the title, so life's a highway. You're just gonna ride it
all night long.
All night long. So next up is SDSMT, and I kind of wanted to capture the essence of what I felt like was the real struggle with this roster throughout this whole season, and it was that your trail mix ran out of M&Ms. It was you had all the pistachios and all the other nuts like that are there.
Do you have pistachios in your?
I don't eat trail mix.
You don't have pistachios in there. You have like peanuts, walnuts. You got almonds
and
there's some raisins in there.
You had the M&Ms a couple of seasons ago. You ate the M&Ms. You're like, ooh, that was really good, and now you're kind of left with a bunch of nuts.
Bunch of raisins.
And it's
nothing anyone wants. So.
It just is not as, like, it doesn't hit the same. It does not hit the same. And, I mean, we can see that going into the end of the season, the forfeit.
Yeah, I think, commenting on that, SDSMT really got hurt by the addition of ISU in the league. Because beforehand, you had those, like, top three teams of UNL, DSU, NDSU, and then you had, like, SDSMT always slotting in as the fourth seed, and then, like, always scaring everyone in the playoffs or whatever. But now they kind of had that, you know, they got to not only – they actually have to beat someone to get to LAN.
Right.
They have to – you know, they can't just be the upset guys who scare people sometimes.
Right.
They have to actually show what they got, and especially when you have a roster that's supposed to be improving, and that it was supposed to improve this semester, you got to show. But my thing is, bro, fix your roster. Like, so obviously SDSMT, at the end of the day, their biggest issue was roster. I mean, you're moving people around. You're having your top laner play jungle. You're having your jungler play top lane. Your AD carry play mid. Your mid playing AD carry, and then you have like two supports playing, and then you have a support playing AD carry sometimes. And it's like, if you want to be good, you have to have at least a consistent roster. You know, you can have a sub in every once in a while. I'm not saying you can't, but
no, it makes it hard.
It makes it hard, especially when people aren't playing their main role. It's like you can't beat a team that has higher ranks when you're all off rolling. So
yeah. Jay's song for you guys was "Despicable Me" by Pharrell Williams. I'm having a bad day. SDSMT had a bad season. So
I feel like it's a little over exaggeration.
It is.
They put up fights against some of the top teams, but
yes, absolutely. But you know, you kind of want to see them step up a little bit more. So I'm sure that they wanted to see more, because not just bad in their performance, but also bad in circumstance, things outside of their control as well. So, but that leads us to fourth seed, DSU, and my phrase for you guys is you crashed your car, but you had really solid insurance, and it was a piece of junk anyways. So it was really rough at the start, but you know what? You got this brand new car. All of a sudden now you're putting your ADC on decent character. Like I'm loving what's happening now. It just works now. It's like, oh, it's just a new car. Yeah. I'm fine with this. Let's stick with this. I'm sure they're happy with it too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say, but mine is, are you griefing early? So the funny thing is like, when you actually look at DSU's drafts, you can tell that they have an idea of what's good, what's bad. Maybe their drafts don't always make sense, but especially in the early part of the season, I feel like they're just for funning sometimes. Like, they're just griefing for fun. I mean, you're playing like AP Twitch, playing these random champions in solo lanes. It's like, I think they know that they're in a position that they can make it into playoffs, make it into LAN, and that's where they actually want to perform. So I think they're just griefing early. Yeah.
Fair enough. Jay had "Can't Hold Us" by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. It's a slow start now to beating NDSU in the last week. Thus, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up. Celebrate. You're now facing the 1 seed. Definitely has. We're liking the direction that they're going in.
Yeah.
Which I guess has us to ISU. And C's get degrees, and your top laner gets you to playoffs. It feels like they're just good enough to get to playoffs, to get to LAN. And it's just there's something else lacking, and if that something else was there, they'd have something really solid. But
hey, mine kind of goes into that. They don't actually win games. It sounds odd, but you hear a lot in not only league but just esports in general and just regular traditional sports in general. How you actually win, especially in the regular season, matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at ISU and why they're winning series or individual games, like, are they actually making the good plays? Are they being proactive, forcing solo killing the opponent, consistently forcing off CS, making good rotations? It doesn't feel like they're doing that a whole lot, right? They're just like, they're grouping up, they might go to an objective, and they'll fight.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times when you see them win a game, it's more like the other team's griefing or the other team's actively losing the game. Yeah. And ISU's never really actively trying to push for a win, per se.
Yeah.
And, that can work to an extent. Obviously, against worse teams, it's going to work sometimes. But as the teams get better and as the teams get more consistent, that is not going to be winning strategy. So
yeah, I hard agree. And I think that also ties in kind of into Jay's, which was Baby Shark by I don't know what Baby Shark's by, but it's
on YouTube.
Yes, they are new and they're hungry. So Baby Shark. That's the reasoning. That's the reasoning that we have. And I mean, new to the league, and you can see it in how unrefined the way that they're winning is. And I think you put that out really well.
Yeah.
Which gives us to next one, NDSU, our second seed. And I just have this picture of them as they're just Jensen for his entire career, where he's like almost number one.
Mm-hmm.
He's just almost it. He's just like, no, I swear I'm really good, guys. And they're like, no, that's someone else.
Yeah,
No, it's actually better. DSU is better than you guys. No, it's UNL. Someone else. No, you were never. It's Bo Belter. It's Bjergsen. It's someone else. It's like, no, he's like, I'm right here. And they just have to keep trying to prove themselves.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the past few seasons, say, get first seed in the playoffs, then don't win finals.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the past, it was like UNL or SDSU back when they were in the league. They were just more dominant over the whole course of the season. So, they've never been, when you look at them, or they've always been a team that you had faith in, thought they could win it all, but they never just put it together. And I guess if you watch football, you can compare them to like a Penn State. Penn State always top 10, always sort of puts those seasons together to be like, ooh, could they win it all? But when they face the big boys, the Ohio States, the Michigans, or whatever, they ain't doing it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But I have pray for Kog'Maw. All right. I thought about doing a protect the puppy comp, but if they aren't having Kog'Maw, they look so much worse. It's like, no offense to their top side, but their top side is not carrying games. Like, the reason why they're winning is because they get Kog'Maw or some Kog'Maw like AD carry, and they get fed and they win the game because of it. And I mean, even like, I just think if you take his Kog'Maw away, that the team's just going to be so much worse in general that I think you have to pray for the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, you just have to hope that the enemy team doesn't realize that they like Kog'Maw.
Or even if you get Kog'Maw, you have to pray that the Kog'Maw gets fed, or else you're still going to lose.
Yep. Gotta hope for a lot. And Jay gave "Heard It on the Radio" by Austin Moon. I don't know the song.
Don't know it either.
But from what I understand, it's from Austin Alley.
Oh, yes, I do remember it. It's in the very far reaches of my memory. So
It's not. I've watched the show a long time ago, but the reasoning was they were projected to win. Thus, we heard it on the radio that they will win a good amount. So, NDSU. And last but not least, the first seed, UNL, Nebraska Esports, having an undefeated season so far. And my phrase for us is that we are just a Toyota Camry in a triathlon. It does not matter that we can't swim. We're a car, and we're going to go so much faster in the biking and the running. I know it.
That's been
A car can't bike, but it's just gonna, you just put the
running.
bike in the car.
The other thing is how do you swim around? So like you're never gonna finish.
Oh no, you got it. No, you totally do it. You swim first and you just drive. It's super reliable car, but it's just like if we went up against other cars, it's a little bit rougher. But we're up against high schoolers, so it just feels like it doesn't matter. So yeah.
I saw originally I had just dominant, which is a good way, but I've now switched it to I am inevitable. Right? Like you saw some games where we struggled a little bit, some series where we dropped a game or whatever, but always when it came to game 3, it was just we won, right? Yep. And it was never a doubt that we were gonna win.
Right.
So
no, I agree.
I think it feels inevitable that we're gonna put a good series together and then we're gonna take the win. In that if it doesn't happen, that it's more on us and not them being better. So
100%. Yeah. And Jay's was 360 by Charlie XCX.
We listened to it beforehand, and I still don't know why.
I was here for that.
You were here for that.
That's what I said. I was here for that, and I was totally listening. And the reasoning was they were so Julia by winning. We are just so Julia.
I don't know what that means.
When someone is very cool, it's so Julia. So
that makes okay.
We are super cool. We're very Julia.
This is my thumbs up to Jay right there.
That's
great.
I feel like I'm someone's dad, like ruining like a phrase. I feel like by saying that.
Maybe the phrase wasn't good in the first place.
It was probably pretty solid. I have no idea.
Maybe the viewers at home love it.
I have no idea, but I think that kind of summarizes what the league as a whole kind of has been throughout this whole season.
But there's another league we play in, Risen.
There is.
For the 2 JV teams.
We have 2 teams in
we can talk about your team.
We'll talk about my team first.
Huskers Black.
They finished their games last Wednesday, so if you saw the podcast, you already saw the results. It was 0-2. They tried. They put in some good effort in this last game. The last game we got a 4-man. So so first game was really rough. Game 2, we were going in with a game plan on doing a counter invade because they had blitzcrank.
And it worked.
And we killed 4 of them.
Yeah. Still 2-0, 2-0-2. Yes, well, doesn't really do anything apparently.
I mean, it should.
It should.
But, it be how it be. The same mistakes that were happening throughout the season kind of maintained happening. Poor wave management and stuff like that. It's...
I would like to say, Thomas, you got to read what Orange Passive does, man. You don't know how to build items, apparently. Because you didn't do it once. Which is upsetting. So, I expect more out of you.
Yeah, it's... I think that's just a good phrase for this team in general, is that I expect more, especially with the things that I've seen from them. They've definitely there's the past couple series I've been expecting more for sure, and I know that some of them have still been trying to put in some effort, but hopefully going into next semester we can come at it with a new approach.
Yeah.
Because 0-6 is hard. It's hard to feel like it's like, oh yeah, no, that's reasonable. It feels like it should not be reasonable.
Yeah, and it's not even like, you had close games a ton.
Right.
You only really had a few here and there where you looked at it and said, yeah, we should have won this game or something.
Yeah, we had close moments.
Yeah.
It felt like we maybe had one close game all season long. So definitely hoping that next semester we step up on some aspects. But a team that is stepping up is Husker Scarlet, who had a game against TFF 5G 2-0. Really great job.
Yeah.
I subbed in because we had some scheduling conflicts. And that was...
I mean, you won.
We won.
Yeah.
We won. It was 2-0. Very not close.
Yeah, it was convincing. Not the cleanest, per se.
Yeah, well, I think that was just... I turned off my brain. Game 2.
Did you ever have it on?
If game 1, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was killing it in the comms. Let me tell you. Game 2, I was being silly. I was being dumb. I realized it was like not my place to be silly, so then I turned it back on and we were able to close it out really convincingly. But I mean, the rest of that team do such a great job of going around calls, and like whenever calls are made, they follow up on them. And their looks are pretty good. So definitely some really solid momentum going into playoffs, where they're actually going against Stunned Gaming, which is the team that Huskers Black played last. Which is going to be really interesting. It's the first seed from the Black division. So
yeah, Scarlet got 4th seed in their group. To be fair, they were tied for 2nd and had that weird tiebreaker stuff. So in reality, they could be anywhere from 4th to 2nd as a seed. I think they played in the harder group. So even as a 4th seed, looking pretty nice. And I mean, if you take a best of 5 against the 1st seed of the other group, I think you're in perfect position to potentially win it all. So
yeah, and definitely expecting them to try to step up.
Yeah.
Got to be putting in a lot of effort though. Stunned Gaming was some of the things that they did in the games against Black were just very solid. Like game 1 specifically, and the fact that they were able to, I mean, come back like four kills down is still pretty impressive.
Yeah, to an extent.
So and they were 1st seed, so they were pretty dominant in our conference, in our group. So we'll be looking to see if Husker Scarlet can step up into that series. That's going to be
predictions.
Predictions probably.
I have a 3-2 for Scarlet.
I would say 3-1 for Scarlet.
I would say if Scarlet wins, it'll probably be 3-2. If Stunned wins, 3-1. I think. Yeah, I think this will be the series that shows if Scarlet has what it takes. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, this is their first like major test. I think since White Lotus probably.
Yeah.
I think this is their.
They have the potential to be the best team in the league. They just need to bring everything they can do together. Yeah. In the
they gotta push really hard. Push for the end. And Worlds ended. Worlds Finals. Congratulations, T1. Our predictions were great.
All of us were wrong on the podcast. Yeah, I mean, 5-game series. So I think we all expected a 5-game series no matter what.
Yeah.
I am a little disappointed in BLG because especially Game 4 and Game 5, they made some pretty bad decisions that led to losing. But, I mean, T1 and especially Faker, I mean, he played so well.
He was a monster.
That's why he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, Faker was phenomenal. That last game, I think there were so many times in that series where just Faker just lived on like negative HP somehow. Yeah. And especially that last play, I think was the selling point, or like it kind of summarized the series, where like BLG threw everything, they did everything right, and still somehow Faker is able to get out. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think this just shows, like, if you take any other mid laner in the world, no matter how good they are, and you replace, like, slot them in for Faker, T1's not going to win it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Faker is so integral to how the team functions, the macro of the team, and just the rock solid carry that they always can have. So, I mean, congrats to them.
Come on.
I think I'm unsure if they're going to be able to keep the same roster. I know, they talk about wanting to stay together, so we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, greatest dynasty in all of League of Legends.
I would say this is a better for his legacy than last year's Worlds. I think last year's Worlds was like they beat JDG in convincing fashion, but it never really felt like a cementing win. Right. He won it, and he pretty convincingly won it. But at the end of the day, no one was up to snuff.
Yeah.
No one was playing as well.
He got MVP.
Whereas this year, I feel like they had to go through the challenge, to go through adversity. So happy for them. But
yeah. And Galio busted. Fager busted.
How can he be so tanky with one tank item? I don't know.
PLG got gapped. Also, why does Fager have so many skins than other champions?
Well, if he rejuices the skin, maybe.
So
I don't know. I hope he picks the Galio one, by the way.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone who showed up to the watch party.
Thank you guys. It was pretty fun.
I don't know if we're gonna have one next year because it's in China.
We're gonna do it anyways. Show up at 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
I don't know when it's gonna be. 2 in the
maybe
morning,
like
3 in the morning, 3 in the morning,
But,
4 in the morning.
We'll see.
We don't have to do that for Arcane though.
No, we don't.
Little bonus thing. We're gonna do some Arcane predictions because that's coming out this weekend.
Yes. All right.
So
we do the 90-50-10 format. So if you don't know, the 90%, 90% gonna happen. 50 gonna happen. 50% gonna happen. 10%.
10% is when we cook.
Unlikely to happen. It's just an idea of like, what do we think is actually gonna happen? What it's like, what do we kind of want to happen towards the end? So
yeah.
But we're gonna start with the 90.
90%.
I will go first. So I think it's a very easy one. I tried to be a little bit more specific, so it's not super obvious. But there's going to be a teaser for a Noxus invasion of Ionia, specifically that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
I don't think it I think it's going to be set up in the idea of like it's going to be a next series or a movie or whatever. Like it's not going to really happen in Arcane.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be like teased.
Yeah.
Poked and prodded at from different points in the story. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a 90%. I mean, because they already kind of did that with Ambessa, but
and to be fair, it might have already happened, though. Actually,
maybe
no, because Singed has to be there.
Yeah, Singed is.
So I would say that's likely to happen. If anything, like if I had to change it a little bit, something with Noxus will be teased for future.
Oh yeah,
whether that be Demacia versus Noxus versus
just
a Sharima thing or the Ionia thing. Yeah. Something with Noxus will happen.
Yeah. I agree. 90%. My 90% I feel like is a very, very likely to happen, which is Jinx has constant visions of Silco the entire maybe not all 3 acts, but like for a significant portion of it, like very similar to what happened with Milo and Clagger.
Yeah.
Just gonna have lots of visions of maybe Silco and Vander, but primarily Silco.
Yeah, I mean, watching the trailers, you don't see it as much. You only see the Milo and Clagger, them. But I mean, good people when they make good trailers do try to exclude
they hide the good stuff. So
spoiler stuff, but. We have our producer, Jay, has some stuff as well. For his 90%, he has Orianna appears and does something.
It does something. What a... how descriptive.
I am not disagreeing with him, but I think if Orianna does appear, it's going to be in her human form, where she kind of... It just exists.
Yeah. That was my original 90%. And then...
we made sure not to repeat ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
It would have been a good one for me, but Jay took it, so... But that's the 90%.
Yeah, I have 50% next. I have something we already hinted at, or in private conversation, I guess. The Blanc is going to be in the show. So I had a long conversation with Carl, our coach, aka Sinner, and we came to the conclusion that if a Noxus champion is going to be there, the Blanc feels like a good one, because I think the more, I don't want to say like spy stuff, more like espionage stuff, especially with like a recruitment of Singed type of angle, really does work. And I like looking at other Noxus champions, like you're not going to see, like, I don't think Swain's going to be there. I think if Swain was going to be in it, like he would just replace Ambessa essentially. I think Urgot could be there. He's technically Noxus. He could be in there. But I mean, no other Noxian champion really makes sense. You're not seeing Cassio. You're not seeing Katarina. You're not going to see Mordekaiser or Talon.
Well, definitely not Mordecai. So definitely not Scion or Rel. Yeah. So.
I mean, Darius is possible, I guess, but it also doesn't feel likely. Yeah. But yeah, so I landed
Draven for sure.
Oh yeah, Draven for sure, right? But yeah, I just landed on LeBlanc because I felt the most natural. I felt like the most likely as well.
Yeah,
but
I think it's definitely pretty interesting.
I think if I had to go like a different, like a Noxus or not a Noxus champion, like a Piltover or Zonchamp, again, Urgot's a very good one. I think Zeri has a chance.
Okay.
Probably on the lower end, towards like that 25%.
Yeah.
And then Camille is the super obvious.
I think Camille is the obvious one. I think another one, this isn't part of my predictions, but we could definitely see some hinting at Renata.
Yes, I have something with Renata.
Oh, okay, okay. So
we won't go into it.
I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but okay. So let me do my 50% then, which is that Blitzcrank is going to start being built in the second season.
I don't remember who builds Blitzcrank. I don't
so
remember.
it is Jace.
It is Jace.
Jace builds it, and I think it's because he's gonna get injured by the massive rocket, and he's gonna start building. So Victor's gonna be building himself, and Jace is building a helper for himself, and that's how this kind of flow works.
I can see it.
And like probably not gonna be finished built, but like we're gonna see.
It's gonna be hinted at least.
Yeah, like we're gonna see maybe the arm, maybe the body, maybe the head, maybe something like he's gonna start being built in this recovery phase for Jace and Victor.
Yeah, I can see it. A little unlikely, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, so 50%.
Jay has something very just general. Jace does something bad-mannered. He specifically, when he first was writing it, he was referring to, like, if Orianna becomes a thing, he's going to do something, like, politically bad around, like, automation and sentient beings and stuff like that. I can see it. I think Jace
like
having
he's gonna just be a jerk. Is that
more like a political downfall type of thing. Maybe not like being a bad person, but not saying the right things to the public. That's why we had a icky beforehand, but we've changed it to bad-mannered because it feels a little bit more appropriate of what we want to communicate. So
I guess that's fair. I mean, maybe.
All right.
All right. Now time
10%.
For the spicy ones. Here we go.
So one of Ambessa, Caitlyn, or Jinx will die. I had a little. So I made these predictions a while ago, and I had a little side note, which is probably not right anymore. But if Ambessa died, then I thought Riot was not going to make her a champion. Of course, as this is being recorded, she's on PvE, and she has a music video and a champion trailer. So she's a real champion.
They could just reskin her.
Yeah. So my one little like strand of hope is that the Shyvana walking animation thing.
Oh, this is actually Shyvana's
this is
change?
This is like, Riot trying to be lazy, but at the same time, it's like her kit's really hard to make, and it's on PvE already. So
yeah,
I think if Ambessa, like the reason why I had it is because Ambessa didn't really have anything up till like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, but I mean, just talking Ambessa, Caitlyn, Jinx.
Yeah.
I went sort of like, I think Caitlyn or Jinx has a good chance to die. I think if we're gonna have to see a major character die, it can't be Vi. I don't think Vi can die. I don't think Jace and Victor are gonna die. And I thought Caitlyn and Jinx would make the most sense because of the connection to Vi. Both of them have connections.
So do you think that opens up if you have a champion who is dead? Because right now, no champion's
is
dead. Do you think that all of a sudden opens up the door for like a ton of stuff? Because right,
as in terms of like more, Bilgewater, Misfortune, or Gangplank dying or stuff.
Potentially like that, or like characters that are referenced in lore who are dead. So like we could see like Shin and Zed's master maybe who is dead. And now all of a sudden he is now a champion because we're allowing for dead champions? Or do you think that they're going to...
I think it would have to be the other way around where you have to be a champion, and then you can die.
Then you can die.
I mean, technically Yone exists where he kind of died.
Okay, but he's alive. It's the same with Senna.
He died, and then like they kind of switched around.
It's the same with Senna.
Yeah. I mean, I think Caitlyn, Ambessa, Jinx. I think if a champion dies, it's going to be one of those three. At least that makes the most sense to me.
Okay.
So,
that's
like,
pretty crazy.
I will say, if I had 100% for it, it'd be like, Vi will not die. Vi is not gonna die.
Vi's not gonna die.
If Vi dies, I will be very surprised. Very surprised.
I guess maybe let me go to my 10% then. Yeah. So I definitely don't think anyone's gonna die. I'll say that.
That's why it's a 10%.
Yeah, fair enough. I think at the end of Act 3, we're going to kind of get alluded to the Jin comics in Piltover with Caitlyn and Vi. So like it's gonna be something like
Camille's very heavily into that. So if Camille does show up, it's
gonna be like they've wrapped up everything, and it's like kind of like this like send off kind of kind of moment, and they're referencing Jin, and it's like there's a crazy person that we're trying to hunt down, or they're gonna say something. This is the very
virtuoso.
End. This is after the conclusion.
Essentially, it'd be like a post credit scene or whatever.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, Jay has a Piltover champion will die. So obviously it's a little close to mine. He just has a Piltover champ, so that means
who?
I would say that includes what? Heimerdinger, Jace, Victor. I would say maybe. Definitely Caitlyn. Anyone else? Sure, there's someone obvious we're missing. So
there probably is.
Ezreal.
Seraphine.
Oh yeah, I mean, hold on. Jay has a 1%er, by the way, and that is Seraphine's going to show up.
No.
Carl and I think the same thing.
No.
So
why?
Seraphine is going to have like a 5-second cameo at one point and not do anything in the story.
No.
It's going to be very funny.
That's a terrible idea.
It would be even better if she showed up with Imagine Dragons.
No. The only way that I can accept Seraphine being in it if it's a poster and it's an Easter egg.
Yeah, I think it'll be
only way I will accept it.
More likely it's going to be an Easter egg or like a 5-second where they run past a concert or whatever.
No, I hate it. I think.
All right, but hey, 10% for you. Oh, we did.
No,
10%.
That was
sorry. But I have one last one. Do you have any others?
Nothing
else. 100%. This is my headcanon already.
No.
Savika is Renata Glass.
Ooh. That's 100%? There's no way that's 100%.
So
no.
The first thing is that her mechanical arm is the same one as in her in-game and splash art. She has that sort of lighter brown skin and black hair. So I think current Savika is like a younger Renata Glass. And
that's crazy.
She's already very familiar with the underworld. She's got like how she wants to deal with stuff. She's already linked to Shimmer. I mean, she's obviously got a little bit of ways to go. But I think, like when I first thought of this, it's like, how did I not think of this before?
So then if that's the case, and then Zeri is actually Malcolm's daughter. That's one of the theory craft. So
maybe.
Cooking a lot. Heavily cooking. Or is it Malcolm? No, Marcus. Marcus's the dead sheriff.
Yeah.
Because like she no, she doesn't really have that hair, does she?
I feel like she needs to be a Zonite.
Probably.
Like she's too Piltoveran. And also, does she have green hair?
Yeah, she does have green hair. she falls into a vat because of singed. Let me cook. I
mean, I think the Savika thing is super likely to happen because it's like you don't really need to. It's not like Renata Glass is even in the thing. Like I think in season 2 we're gonna see her like slowly be pushed towards that role, and maybe not even at the end we're not gonna see her like, champion form right now, but it's gonna be certainly hinted at as like a, something towards the end of the season where she becomes Renata.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah. And also Renata's parents die earlier in her life, and Savika's does as well. So,
do they ever reference her parents? Wait, what?
It's been
in season 1, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I don't have anything else for Arcane.
I don't. Do you have anything else in general?
No. I don't have anything.
Yeah. I guess all that's left is thank you guys for watching. JV games are Saturday at 7 Central.
6.
They just got them rescheduled.
They just got rescheduled.
So 7 Central, Saturday. Go tune in to see them in playoffs for Risen Esports Unstoppable League.
Yep.
Should be a good game to watch. I know they're wanting to go pretty far. We don't have anything this week.
Nothing till the LAN.
The LAN. So we will
have another podcast between there and then.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see you guys.
We'll remind you about it again as well.
Yes, you'll hear us again talk about it, and then you guys will watch them at the LAN. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.